Mesdames et messieurs, salut, je m'appelle Madame Diane Marie. My name is Diana Mary. Today I want to talk to women. I want to talk to the female of the human species. Forgive me. I know that we live in a time where people talk about pronouns, but that's not where I'm coming from. I'm talking about the biological female, those who were born to be female. Now, sometimes you need to relax and be patient and be kind with yourselves. There's so many things that we have to understand. And why is that so? We live in a world where so many things are going on. A lot of people are giving different definitions. A lot of people are telling you who you should be, what you should be. And I want to look you straight in the face and ask, how many of you have truly sat back to look at yourselves and say, who am I? What is my life constantly telling me? What is my own idiosyncrasy telling me? What is my purpose? Have you ever sat back to do a critical analysis? Have you ever sat back to write the vision, make it plain so that you can understand it? I see women being very, wanting to be everything else but themselves most of the time, some of the time, forgive me for want of a better word. Um, I remember the time when I was nursing, I think my second child. Um, I said I wanted to be very slim. I wanted to be a size 14. I wanted to stay there. I didn't want to, so I wasn't eating as much. And one day when I sat by the bedside to breastfeed her, I had a total blackout. And then my iPad at the time fell down, and it was hunger that caused that. And after that experience, I decided to be a little more kind with myself. I started eating because the baby needed it. I wasn't out of control, but naturally, even if I breathe in oxygen, I would become two times as fat. I became very fat. I added body weight in all of the right and wrong places, to be honest with you. And this was the kind of feedback I was getting from society. Diana Mary, you've become fat. Diana Mary, you've let yourself loose. Diana Mary, you've done this. Everybody had something to say. And in my heart, I truly wanted people to understand that I was in a season of nothing. I was in a season of making babies. We are all different and we respond to the seasons of our life in different ways. Some women would give birth and would never add a muscle. Some women would give birth and would change by 360. If people were a little more patient and a little more kind and understand that life throws at us different things. And in my bid to want to meet up with standards of society, I was starving at some point because I wanted to still be a size 12, 14. Now, listen, I think first and foremost, I'd like to address that. When you're a woman and you should understand the seasons you're approaching. You should try to make that effort. It's okay for you to understand that when you're pregnant, your nose is going to be large. So, for some of the women, it's okay to understand that most of the time your legs will, and you can also plan your life to either manage these situations, but do not be too unkind with yourself. Do not be too impatient with yourself. I had a cousin who said she didn't want to breastfeed her child because she didn't want her breast to fall. These are some of the things that I have seen happen over time, and I wonder. I want to encourage women to live in the seasons of their life, owning it and blossoming and thriving through it. At the right time, you were beautiful through all the seasons. And to be honest with you, it is in the season of the last 10 years of my life, between ages 29 and ages 40, that I began to realize. And I came to a conclusion that in life, you have what we call the stage and you have what you call the backstage. Sometimes you need to get to the backstage and you need to have a proper dressing of yourself so that when you get on stage, you become like you never left the spotlight. The truth of the matter is that there's so many things that we must understand when we get to that season in our lives, and this is one of those things. There are some things that biologically women were created to instinctively handle, to instinctively deal with, and one of those things is nursing, getting pregnant, nursing a baby. For those of you who want to refer me to modern day technology, please, you possibly are not my target audience. Women are equipped biologically speaking by way of their anatomy to conceive, carry a pregnancy for duration, give birth to this child, produce milk, feed this child, nurture these children to through the stages of their lives. And in a world where I hear people say women cannot be men. I'm one of those who say being a woman is so dignifying, so glorious, and so beautiful that I have no business wanting to be a man. I am not in competition with any man because there are things. How about we did those things that made us peculiar as women? You know, I I have mentioned a couple. nurturing your children, paying attention to them. Yes, because most of the time, or some of the time, it's a marriage, it's a partnership. Yes, um, percentages are brought to the table so that these things can be done. But realistically speaking, I want us to live in the consciousness. Personally, talking as a person, I feel very comfortable nursing my children. I feel very comfortable nurturing my children. I see it as a call. I see it as something that's instinctive. And I believe when people say that women mold society, what that simply means is that the kind of children that you raise at the end of the day, a reflection of the kind of society that you want to see. So when we live in a world where everybody thinks there's so much hustle and bustle, everybody's looking for an easy way out. Nannies are available, the domestic staff are available, people are available. Can we just at least take some time out from all of our very busy and very trendy ideas to do the things that are supposed to be done as women? I said to somebody that I decided to take the last 10 years of my life from between ages 29 to ages um, 40 and say, look, this is what I want to do. Have these children, be present, and after that 10 years, I would understand the way forward. And the person said, Dana, you could have done everything else, including that. And I said, for me, it's so demanding and the kind of concentration I wanted to give. At that point, I knew I wasn't supposed to be having that conversation. Why? Because that person should not be defining to me how I want to raise my kids and how I wanted to deal with the situation at the time. So I think you may agree with me, you may disagree with me, that you should take your time out through every season to understand. You cannot choose to live just like that. I do not agree with that theory. I completely not agree with your theory. So, women, be patient with yourselves. A lot of people may not understand the seasons. Be patient with yourselves. Try not to grapple with the seasons. Some of the seasons may put you through some kind of questions, make your mind wander. But as I said, on a stage, you have the spotlight, which is on the stage, and you have the backstage. Sometimes you need to pull back to the backstage, get a proper dressing, understand what's going on, so that when you hit the spotlight of the stage, you can make sense of everything. And guess what? When you look back in time, you will understand and realize that you missed out on absolutely nothing. Get everything done, manage your time, be patient with yourself, and most importantly, understand your purpose. Most of the times, your life will tell you what to do with it. As a woman, respond to what it is that you feel on your inside and do it in the most authentic and the most beautiful way. At the end of the day, you'll be glad you did. Au revoir.